I'm Helen. This is a 45-minute beginner-friendly yoga class with pose breakdowns. So the goal of this class is to slow down, to really focus on alignments. Either if you're new to yoga or if you're an experienced practitioner and you just want a refresher. Many times we build bad habits from not learning the correct alignment that could cause injuries or just discomfort in our practice. So hopefully today we can really slow down, feel what feels good and comfortable, and find a nice, steady, balanced yoga practice. We will be using a few props, or I'll be showing how to use a few props, and it's totally okay if you don't have any, but if you do have some available at home, you might have some blocks handy or a little stack of books, something to bring the ground up, maybe even a sturdy water bottle. And I will be showing how to use a strap. Again, not necessary at all, but if you have a strap or a towel, a scarf, a belt works fantastic. You might grab one of those and have them handy as well. And I'll share on the Wild Thing Facebook page and the Floating Yoga School Facebook page some resources for props if you're looking to buy some, invest in them, to have them for your practice. I love using them, so I definitely encourage having them handy. With that, we're going to get started today standing at the top of your mat or space. And you can have your feet together or hip distance apart. Rock a little bit forward and back or side to side. Just find that sweet spot where you're balanced between your toes and your heels. Your toes are spread, they're not gripping the ground, and you feel grounded and steady. Hands can be by your side, palms facing forward to really open up your chest and roll your shoulders down your back. Or if you prefer, you can have your hands together in front of your heart. Feel free to have a soft gaze, eyes looking down or forward, or close your eyes. And begin to notice your breath without changing it. Let it get a little bit deeper, a little bit longer, each breath in and each breath out. And notice if there's a place where you tend to hold your breath, if one side of your breath in or out is shorter. And then bring one hand in front of your mouth. Take a big breath in through your nose. Exhale, open mouth, make a ha sound, like you're fogging up a mirror in your hand. A couple more times. Feel that heat. Once more. You can release your hand. Find that same sensation, but with your lips sealed, so it's in and out through your nose. That slight constriction at the back of your throat. This is a warming breath. It's our yogi breath. Some people call it ocean breath or Darth Vader breath. And it really helps us to stay present and to link body and mind. You can keep your eyes closed or blink them open. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky, stand a little bit taller. Exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart. Take that twice more. Inhale, reach out and up like you're gathering up good energy. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more, breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale, reach overhead. And then exhale, fold forward. So you can take your hands to your hips, bend your knees a little bit, and imagine hinging from your hips with knees bent, flat back all the way down. I like my knees bent a lot, especially at the beginning of my practice, and then let your head and neck relax. Nice deep forward folds, allowing gravity to do the work here rather than forcing yourself into a deeper stretch. Just breathe. Place your hands on your shins, reach your chest forward as if you're taking the crown of your head to the front of your space, tailbone back, really lengthen your spine. Knees can absolutely stay bent. Big breath in. And then exhale, fold again. Feel free to bend your knees even deeper. Twice more. Inhale, lift it halfway. Find that space. Hug your shoulder blades together down your back. And exhale, fold. One more time. Big breath in. Create length and space. Exhale, folds. Come down onto your knees and make your way to a tabletop position. So feel free to adjust in your space. And for tabletop, what we're looking for is fingers spread wide, shoulders stacked above your wrists. And you can think about your middle finger or your pointer finger pointing toward the short edge of your mat. So your hands might be a little bit turned out depending on your shoulders and what's going on. We want to avoid hands turned all the way to the long edge or sides of your mat. And you do want your fingers spread wide so that you can press into your fingertips, press into your knuckles, and not just dump weight into the back or heels of your hands. Spine is neutral to start. Knees are right below your hips, about hip distance apart. We'll move through some cow and cat shapes, finding movement through your spine. For cow, as you inhale, you lift your tailbone, drop your belly toward the ground, hug your shoulder blades down your back, lift your heart. Maybe you lift your gaze, your chin slightly. That's an inhale. Exhale for cat, press the ground away. You're going to take the opposite shape. Tailbone scoops under. Press the space between your shoulder blades to the sky, chin to chest. And then move like that with your breath. Inhale, cow, tailbone up, belly down, heart forward. Exhale, cat, like an angry Halloween cat. Press the ground away. Find that stretch through your upper back. Continue to move with your breath back and forth, arching and rounding. And always, especially in my classes, feel free to find additional movement, a little sway. Stay longer in one shape. Always feel free to modify it in any way that you like. And for some people, it feels more natural to do the opposite breaths. So if that's true for you, anytime I say a breath, it's just a guidance or a suggestion. You can always take the opposite breath. More important than what breath you're taking is that you're aware of your breath and you're still breathing through your shapes, especially if things are a little bit challenging. Let's do last one here. And then come back to neutral. Keep a little soft bend in your elbows, especially if you know you have a tendency to hyperextend or lock out your elbows. And that's me, they kind of push forward and pop out. So a little bit of a bend, a little muscular engagement in your shoulders, and then draw your knees together so they touch. And this creates one kind of stable shape, a little tripod with your hands and your knees. We're gonna extend right leg straight back behind you like you're stamping your foot into a wall. Engage your low belly, activate through your legs. So you're really actively pressing. Your glutes are engaged as well. And then if you like, you can take your left hand, so opposite hand forward, come onto your fingertips or reach it out in front. And this is building strength through your spine and your core, helping to create that extension. Continue to breathe. Notice where it feels good to have your gaze down, forward, maybe all the way forward. For me, it's slightly down to keep my neck really long. One more big inhale, and then exhale, release down. And especially as we're moving in our flow classes, a lot of time on our hands, or it can be. So if you need a little break to stretch out your wrist, shake them out, please feel free to always take that. Same thing other side, knees together in your tabletop. This time left leg back, press your foot into the wall like you're stamping, toes point down, lift from your glutes. So back of your leg is engaged, low belly is engaged. Chest stays lifted. Stay just like this. This is great. Or right hand can walk forward, play with your fingertips down, or extend your right arm out in front. I know when I get a little tired, things get a little sloppy, so I try to keep active, engaged, and reaching. And of course, that awareness on my breath. One more inhale. Exhale, release it all down. Same thing, give yourself any little wrist stretches. What can feel nice is to turn your hands back. Take a little stretch to flip your palms up, fingers back, stretch your wrists and your forearms, or simply take weight off your hands, shake them out. The next shape we're gonna take is downward facing dog, which we see a lot in our Hatha and Vinyasa yoga classes, the more active styles of yoga. And the way we find the distance between hands and feet is coming into a high plank upper push-up position. So you can walk your feet back. Even if you can't stay here, knees down, it's a little bit longer than your tabletop. So you're gonna tuck your toes, lift your hips to the sky, and imagine making an upside down V shape. I personally like my feet pretty close together. Most people do about hip distance. You can always take them wider. Feel free to bend your knees, send your bottom to the sky as if you could press your chest back to your thighs. We're thinking more about a long line through your spine, lots of length there, than straight legs. So especially if hamstrings, calves are really tight, Feel free to keep that nice deep bend. Fingers are spread wide. You're pressing into your fingertips like you did from tabletop. And then notice if your shoulders collapse to your ears, can you move them down your back? Keep breathing. You can shake out your head. You can always pedal your feet. Drop one heel, bend the opposite knee, and move a little side to side. And I promise you won't spend too much time here through our practice today, but if ever it's too much, come down to your knees, take a break in table, take a break in a child's pose. Gently walk your hands back to your feet. So we're gonna come to the back of your space, back to our ragdoll forward fold, feet about hip distance, they can always go wider. Knees bent so much that your belly comes to your thighs. Let your head and neck relax and hold on to opposite elbows. Sway side to side if you want, nod your head yes and no, release some tension through your neck. And then release your hands down. Keep your knees soft. Head is the last thing to come up. Imagine rolling through your spine to come up. You can walk your hands up your legs, like you're stacking your vertebrae. When you get to the top, shrug your shoulders up, back and down. Feel that little release. And then back to your standing. I'm gonna turn so you guys can see me a little bit better. You can stay whatever direction you're facing. We're just gonna play with a little balanced tree pose. Weight into your left foot, your right foot comes up to your ankle, your calf, or your thigh. And so it can be pretty low on the ground for more stability. It can be a little bit higher for more of a challenge. People will say to avoid your knee joint, and the reason for that is you don't want to push your knee out of alignment. So watch if you put your foot on your knee, they're not pressing on your knee. It's very light, or that you place it right below or right above. And I'll go calf today. Hands can come to your heart. You might find it more stable to bring your hands to your hips or out wide, or to even find a wall and place your hand on a wall. It helps in balancing poses to focus your eyes on something that's not moving, so maybe that's not me, the ground, something in front of you, on the wall. If you want to challenge your balance, you can try reaching up, looking up, or even closing your eyes. And feel free to wiggle and wobble. I will. Breathe. One more. Release your foot down, shake it out, let it all go. And then take that same shape to the other side. Weight into your right foot, left foot comes, ankle, calf, or thigh. Find the position that works. You can think about pressing your foot into your leg, leg back into your foot, and then your hands together. So that equal energy pushing to the midline will help draw your energy up and keep you stable. Find your gazing point. We call that drishti. Steady eyes and steady breath will help keep your body a little bit more balanced, but know that it's totally okay if you move. Or if you want to challenge, reach up, look up. Feel your breath. And then slowly release. Shake it all out. So probably still in the back of your space. No worries if you're not. You're going to take a big step forward with your right foot. And we'll take a high crescent lunge. So right knee is bent. Your toes are facing the short edge of your mat. Knee above or behind your ankle. You don't want your knee to go in front of your toes. That'll put extra pressure on your knee. Back leg is either straight or slightly bent, but your back heel is lifted. And if that's not comfortable for you, you can always take more of a warrior one with your heel down. For most people, that's a little bit more intense on your hips, but everyone's different. Hands to hips, and you might find that you need to walk your feet wider for balance. Imagine both hip points facing the same direction like they're headlights. Bend into your front knee a little bit deeper. Make sure it's above or behind your ankle, adjust as you need. And then hands can stay at hips, so you can reach your arms to the sky, but try to keep your shoulders out of your ears. And a nice little trick for that is rolling your pinky fingers forward to drop your shoulders. We'll breathe here. I feel it in the front of my back thigh and hip. You might feel it someplace else. What we're looking for in our yoga practice is a balance of effort and ease, or steadiness and sweetness. And that comes from one of the oldest yoga texts that helped to standardize yoga, called the Yoga Sutras. And a lot of it was focused on things besides the poses, but when the author of it did mention the poses. He said that they should be in a balance of effort and ease. So I always try to come back to that. One more breath in. We're gonna open to a warrior two as you exhale, back heel pivots flat. Feel free to adjust your feet. So for this, front heel in line with back heel or arch. Front toes face the short edge, back toes face the long edge of your mat, and your hips are gently opening. Arms out wide. At shoulder height, reach through your fingertips. We'll take a little flow. Inhale, right leg straight, palms together overhead. Exhale, right back to that nice deep bend, warrior two. Twice more. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Keep your legs the same. Reverse warrior. Left hand moves down your left leg. Right arm to the sky. Keep bending into your right knee. Feel space through your right side. Keep breathing. And then slowly release your hands down. Step back to downward facing dog. Right foot meets your left. And walk your hands to the back of your mat. Roll yourself to standing one more time. Head is the last thing up. Shoulder shrug up, back, and down. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. We'll take that same thing other side, so just big step forward with your left foot. We're keeping these transitions kind of simple for now. I promise we'll add a little bit more of a flow element. So find your space, feet as wide as you like for balance, hips pointing in the same direction, front knee bent, back leg works towards straight. It may not be there. For me, a little bend feels the most comfortable. Shoulders out of your ears, and then maybe arms up. Breathe and notice where you feel sensation. So a big part of our practice, being in the physical shapes, these poses or asanas, is just the awareness of what's going on. The presence, the experience, more than how it looks. Of course, we want to be safe. Let's take one more breath in. Exhale, open to warrior two. So I've got my back toward you, but maybe you can see this from a different angle. Front heel in line with back heel or arch. Back toes face the long edge of your mat, front toes the short edge. Reach through your fingers, drop your shoulders out of your ears. We'll flow left leg straight, palms together overhead, breathe in. Back to warrior two, breathe out. Two more times with your breath. You can always hold longer or stay someplace. Last one. Keep your legs the same. Reverse warrior, left arm to the sky, right hand down your left leg. Really breathe into the left side of your ribs and waist. Inhale. And exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Step back to downward facing dog. And you can stay, you can drop your knees, you can take a child's pose, which is knees wider together, hips to heels, forehead down. I'm gonna grab my props and I'll show you what we're gonna use, or what I'm gonna use to show you Chaturanga. If you've got some and you wanna use them, you can. So feel free to come to a seat or down to your knees so you're not just holding any shape for a long time. I've got two blocks. I'm gonna place them near the top edges of my mat. And then I've got a strap here that I'm gonna show you how to thread. And again, please don't feel like you have to use them today or have them today. I like to offer how to use them. One end of the strap goes through both of the little rings, and then it goes over both. It goes over one and under the second. And what I'm gonna do for this, for Chaturanga, is to try and find the strap as wide as my ribs and place the strap right above my elbows. So that might be a little bit tight. I'm just gonna loosen. And this is gonna help me know that I'm not going too low in downward facing dog. And the blocks also do a good job, and I'll also show you how to just find it in your body. Did I say down dog? I think I meant Chaturanga. We're gonna find plank. So either with knees lifted or knees down. And if you wanna take the knees down version, knees are slightly behind your hips. For Chaturanga, it's a tricep push-up that we're looking for. We take a little shift forward and we lower just halfway. You can press back up and press it back. You can take that a few times. Lower and lift. Move with your breath. You're really engaging your triceps or the back of your arms to hold yourself up. And in some versions, we come to a cobra, so we do drop to our belly. In other versions, we come to an up dog, so we stay lifted. If you're coming to up dog, really important that you don't drop below your elbows. So what we want to avoid is this. This can put extra strain on the front of your shoulders as well as your rotator cuff muscles and could potentially cause injuries. Probably not today, probably not tomorrow, but if you want to continue your yoga practice until you're 90 like me, you want to try to find nice form and alignment. And so this is where the strap comes in. So it goes right above your elbows, either from knees down or from your high plank. You take your little shift forward and you lower halfway. And that strap stops you so that you know you don't go further. You can flip your toes, come onto the tops of your feet, find up dog, and then you kind of have to ditch your strap to move into your downward facing dog or another shape. Just a nice way to gauge that height. Another option is to take your 2 blocks, and this will be a different height for everyone. I'm not super tall, so I might have to play with the height. Either on the tallest setting or maybe the second. For most people, I would guess it's going to be the tallest. You're going to drop the tops of your shoulders to the blocks. So hands come below your shoulders, feet step back. I'm going to scoot a little forward. Take your breath in, shift forward, and then lower till you touch the blocks. And this will keep you from dipping too far down, help you find that muscle memory. Flip your feet. Lift your thighs for up dog, open your chest, and then find your way back. If you are taking it to your belly and you're taking cobra, obviously you're going to drop past that point where your shoulders drop. You just want to move your body in one long line. So rather than going shoulders first, you take your halfway down, and then maybe feet, knees, hips, and body down, versus dipping down with your chest first and putting that pressure on your shoulders. So feel free to play with them. Use the props that you have or don't have at your house. Practice finding that strength. If you don't feel like you can hold yourself up in your chaturanga or take the push-up, a really beautiful option is to just hold high plank. Really feel strong. Make sure your hips are almost in line with your shoulders, not dropping down, not lifting too high up, keeping your knees down. I often will just take cow and cat instead of chaturanga, or skip it and just move right to downward facing dog. So give yourself a couple rounds of breath to play, to take a child's pose, to take a seat. We'll meet in downward facing dog in a moment, but feel free to explore what that chaturanga feels like in your body. So when you're ready, from your downward facing dog, bend your knees, breathe in, look forward. Exhale, step or hop toward your hands. You can bend your knees a lot. Lift halfway, send your chest forward, breathe in. Exhale, fold, let it all go. Inhale, rise, hands sweep to the sky. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. Chair pose. As you inhale, sit low. And this can be feet hip distance or feet together. I personally like my big toes touch and a little space between my heels. Sit back like you're sitting into a chair. It doesn't have to be super low. What we're looking for more is a lifted chest versus leaning forward. Shoulders are out of your ears, belly's engaged. Breathe. Feel where you feel this, the heat and the strength. One more inhale. Exhale, forward fold, let it all go. Lift halfway, breathe in. Exhale, hands down, left foot steps back, and we'll rise to our high crescent lunge. Press through your feet, reach your arms to the sky, inhale. Open to warrior 2 as you exhale, back heel pivots flat, arms out to a T. Inhale, reverse warrior, up and back. Exhale to side angle, forearm to your thigh or hand inside or outside your foot, left arm to the sky. So similar leg shape as we had in warrior 2 and your reverse warrior. We're just leaning a little bit forward with our torso, with our spine. Option always to place your forearm on your thigh as I'm doing, or if you've got a block, hand can come inside or outside your foot onto a block. What's helpful there is to keep shoulders out of your ears. So whatever version you take, notice if you're crunching, especially your right shoulder up. You can keep your top arm lifted, or an extended version is to extend your top arm over your head. Just make sure that doesn't pull your left shoulder up. Breathe here, strong legs, lots of space through your left side especially, but your right side too. Inhale, reverse triangle. We're gonna reach up and back, straighten out your right leg, reach your right arm to the sky, find space through your right side. Keep breathing. One more inhale. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Feel free to move your stuff, your props. High plank upper push-up. Remember, you can always lower your knees. Chaturanga, inhale, little shift forward. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, up dog. Press into the tops of your feet. Lift your thighs, lift your heart, shoulders away from your ears. Exhale to downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, let it go. Once more, breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, make your way to your hands. You can step, you can hop, you can take a little stroll. Lift halfway, breathe in, longer spine. Forward fold, exhale it out. Rise to standing arm sweep high. Palms together in front of your heart, exhale. Same thing other side, starting with your chair pose. Inhale, sit low. Peek down, make sure you can see all 10 toes, so there's more weight in your heels than forward. Your butt reaches back, your heart reaches up and forward. Engage your low belly. Feel it and breathe here. One more inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Lift halfway, breathe in. Exhale, hands down, this time right foot steps back. Rise to high crescent lunge, press through your feet, arms overhead. Exhale, open warrior two, back heel pivots flat. Legs stay the same, reverse warrior, reach up and back with your left arm. We're taking it to side angle again as you exhale. Left forearm rests on your left thigh, right arm to the sky. Or if you wanted to play, hand inside or outside your foot, hovering, touching, or reaching a block. And then really notice here the tendency for your shoulders to creep to your ears. Slide them down your back. Almost imagine rotating your torso, your heart up to the sky. I press through the outer edge of my back foot, and maybe you want to take the extended version, right arm over your head. Breathe here. We often think of flowing classes or fast classes as being challenging. For me, slow classes are really challenging. Holding and breathing and staying and feeling. So notice what's true for you. Next, inhale, reverse triangle. Left leg straight, left arm up and back. Right hand slides down your back leg. Breathe here. One more inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. You can bend your front knee. Step back, high plank upper push-up or knees down. Stay, child's pose, down dog, or flow through that chaturanga. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower halfway. Press into the tops of your feet, lift your thighs. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, flip over your toes. One at a time or both together, downward facing dog. Breathe. And again, down dog can be a lot on your shoulders and your wrists. So if that's true for you, take the breaks. I know I get tired and easily want to come to a tabletop. We will meet in tabletop. Let's all go there together. Bring your knees together to touch. So like we did before, right leg back, left arm forward. Find the extension, opposite arm and leg. Breathe in, stay, or exhale, elbow to knee round. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. You can always stay in the extension. You can always stay with just your leg extended, hand down. Last one. Back to extension. Lower everything back down and switch sides. Left leg back, right arm forward. Find the stability first. Engage, reach, hang out, or elbow to knee. Exhale. Twice more. And release it down. Take your knees wide, big toes touch, child's pose. Press your hips toward your heels. Walk your hands forward, relax your forehead down. Imagine sending breath into your upper back and shoulders. And then walk your hands as far as you can to your right. So they might come off your mat. Left hand can stack on top of your right. I kind of lift my head first to start. You find what works for you. And then to the other side, hands left, hips right, maybe your right hand stacks on top. And back to center. We'll take a thread the needle. One of my favorite poses, if it's not yours, we'll find a variation that works for you. Starting from hands and knees, I'll get you into it and then I'll give some options. Reach your right arm out and up to the sky like you're opening your chest to the side. You can roll your wrists a couple times. And then you're gonna thread your left arm through, drop your shoulder to the ground or toward the ground and the side of your head down. Notice if your hips move to one side, bring them back to center. Left hand stays, reaches in front, or if there's something else you like, you can go there. And if this is just not happening in your body, you're welcome to take your right arm across and find a stretch there. Same working or same sensation, outer edge of your arm. When you're ready to come out, left hand by your face, unthread your right arm out and up. Big breath in, counter stretch like we started, and then release down. Other side, left arm up, open your chest to the side, roll your wrist, thread your arm through, drop your shoulder, your head down. Right hand stays, reaches forward, or find whatever else. Or same thing, you can simply take your left arm across your body. Shoulders drop out of your ears. When you're ready to come out, right hand by your face, unthread left arm out and up, breathe in, lower it down. Bring your hands a little forward or your knees a little back to find your way to downward facing dog. One of our last ones, I won't promise in case I change my mind. Bend your knees, breathe in, look forward. Step, hop, maybe you try a little jump to your hands, lift halfway, send your heart forward. Exhale, fold. Rise up to standing. Exhale, hands to your heart. So we'll take eagle pose. I'm gonna turn so you guys can see again. One more standing balance pose, right and left, before we slow things down. I like to start in chair for this, so finding that nice deep chair pose. And then for me, it's more comfortable to take my arms first. You're welcome to take your legs first. We're gonna start with right arm below. So like you're giving yourself a big hug, hands come to opposite shoulders, or you bend your elbows, reach your hands up, elbows cross, back of your hands touch, or palms of your hands touch. Whatever variation you like is great. And you can absolutely stay here. Otherwise, you lift your right thigh, cross it over your left, toes touch to the ground outside your left foot, or maybe your toes wrap. The tendency is for your knees to go left. Bring them back to center, so elbows and knees stack, and then sit back as you gently pull your elbows away from your chest to find sensation through your upper back. Breathe. Like your tree pose, your steady gaze will help. If your hands are up, you might feel like you're looking between your arms or through your arms. Focus anywhere. Breathe. I need that reminder as much as you guys. That's why I say it so much. And then slowly lift up and out, shake it out. So really great one to get into outer hips as well as the upper back region. So for a lot of us, places where we're tight, we'll take the other side. Sit low into your chair. This time left arm below. And the way you can remember was whatever arm is below is the leg on top. So find your hug, hands to the back, palms together. So left arm is below, left leg goes above. Toes touch or wrap. If they're to the right, bring them back to center. Stack your elbows and knees. Sit a little lower, lift your elbows away from your chest. Breathe here, steady eyes, steady breath. And when you're ready to come out, unwind, stretch to the sky, big breath in, and exhale, fold yourself forward. Take your feet out wide so they come near the outer edges of your mat, heels in, toes out. And this will be different for each of us, so you can adjust however. You're gonna bend your knees a lot and sit low into a squat. And depending on your Achilles, your calves, your hips, your knees, this may look more like a wide-legged chair. For others of us, it's closer to the ground. Honor where your body is. Peek down. Make sure knees and toes are pointing in the same direction. Open your chest by pressing your elbows into your inner knees back into your elbows. Notice where you feel this. Breathe. Find one more inhale. And then exhale, come down into a seat. One hand in front or both hands behind. Feet together, knees out wide, a little butterfly shape. I'll turn to face you guys again. Lifts up, lengthen your spine, and then lean forward. And traditionally in our more warm hatha classes, vinyasa classes, we do this with a flat back. I also like a rounded spine. We see this a lot more in yin in our more calming classes, and you can do a combo of the two. It might be sitting up straight to start, a lean forward, and then a little rounding. Some people open their feet like a book, massage their feet, or press elbows into shins. I personally like my hands walking out in front. When you feel like that's been enough, lift yourself up. Draw your knees together. We'll take boat pose. Hands come behind your shins. A little lean back so you engage your core, and then really scoop your belly button up and under your ribs. You can start by coming onto your toes. Keep your shoulders out of your ears. Lift one leg or both legs parallel to the ground. If that feels pretty steady for you, arms can go wide. If you want a lot more, arms to the sky, legs straight. For me, I either like hands behind my shins or arms wide. Imagine a string is pulling your chest to the sky. Keep lifting. Keep breathing, of course. And we'll hold here for 2 more rounds of breath. Slowly lower down. Give yourself a hug, arms around your shins, forehead to your knees. Lift yourself up. Extend your right leg out in front, left knee up to the sky, and your foot can stay inside your right knee, or you can take it over and across to the outside of your right knee. You decide. Left hand behind you, sit up tall. Right arm either hugs your knee or elbow hooks outside your knee for a spinal twist. Reach up with each breath in, twist deeper with each breath out, never forcing any stretch. So when you found kind of that edge or that place where your body is saying, okay, that's enough, respect that and honor that. And then we'll take a counter twist in the other direction, other side. So extend your left leg, right knee up, foot inside your left knee or foot over and across. Right hand behind you, left arm up, sit up tall, hug your knee, hook your elbow, you decide. Tall spine, breathe in. Deeper twist as you breathe out. Slowly unwind. If you crossed your foot, bring it back inside and then let your knee fall out to the side. So your left leg is straight, your right knee is bent, kind of like you were doing your tree legs. Sit up tall, hands can come slightly out in front, breathe in. And then exhale, begin to lean forward over your extended leg. You can stay again with more of a flat back, or you can allow a rounding, forehead down. Just a simple, gentle release. Feel free to bend into your left knee, especially if hamstrings are tight. And then slowly lift yourself up. Know that you can always stay in any shape longer. We'll switch legs, right leg straight, left knee bent to the side. Hands slightly in front, sit up, breathe in. Exhale, lean, round, fold over your leg. And it's not about how deep you go, just as it's not about the look of the shape. It's more about our awareness in it. We challenge our bodies physically, we find the edge, so that when things come up in our everyday life, we can use the practices we find on our mat, our breath, our presence, and approach other things in our life with the same awareness. As your sides feel even, come back up. Extend both legs. We're going to take it to our back. Arms in front. You can roll down. You can simply plop it down. You can move with control. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock, side to side. And then find a happy baby pose. So knees hug in, and then they come outside your ribs. Feet flex to the sky. And the goal is to keep your butt down. So if you find that this is happening, you're lifting your butt, try and bring your bottom down, low back down, and maybe you hold on behind your knees. Maybe you hold to your calves, your ankles. Maybe your hands reach to your feet. Try to keep the length through your spine first, and then the reach for your feet secondary. If it feels good, a little rock side to side. And then if there's any last shapes that you want to take, another hug in, another twist, anything else that you know or like, doesn't have to be a yoga thing, please do take those movements, those shapes. Or meet me in final resting pose, Shavasana. Legs out long, a little space between your legs, arms by your side, shoulders snuggle down your back. Palms can face up, or if you prefer, you can bend your elbows, place your hands on your body. That can often be a little bit more grounding of a sensation. Your eyes can be soft or closed. If this doesn't feel supportive, if this doesn't feel like a place that you can comfortably stay for a couple minutes, find another shape on your belly, on your side, in a seat. We often think meditation is about clearing our mind or sitting perfectly in silence and stillness. And while maybe eventually it'll get there for many of us, that's not the day-to-day reality. Instead, we just notice the thoughts that arise, what comes in, watch as it goes out, the feelings you have, the places your mind wanders to. And we try to observe without judgment, without attachment. Stay neutral, stay present. But let whatever is happening happen. You can stay here as long as you like, or start to reintroduce movement, a little rock side to side of your head, a little wiggle of your fingers, your toes, maybe a big stretch, arms above you. And then find your way up to a seated position if you're not already there. I like to roll to one side and come up. You can keep your eyes closed or soft, relax your shoulders. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. So in many yoga classes, you hear the word namaste being shared at the end. People are moving a little bit away from that nowadays. The word namaste translates roughly to I bow to you. So it's often used as a greeting, more of a hello than a goodbye. But in a yoga context, many of us like to think of it as the light in me honors the light in you. I honor this practice where it comes from, those of us who share together. Just as a formal way of ending a practice and acknowledging all that yoga is beyond just the physical shapes. This awareness you practiced, this presence you held, and hopefully this continued practice that you move through. We'll gently bow our heads. Namaste. Thanks, guys. Have a lovely rest of the day, and I will see you soon.